on in a little bit. We're going to do our intro video, but before we did, Zara wanted to say hi to the fans. So,
Hi.
and you wanted to talk about how cute you think our dog is?
No.
No, what do you want to talk about? Now you're nervous? Okay, well, you don't have to
Zara,
talk. You were the one who wanted to do this.
Come on.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna start the intro video then.
No, like doggies. Doggies.
You like doggies?
Yes.
Okay, here. Can we show Lily? All right. There's Lily. There's Liz. All right, we'll have Zach on for the first segment to talk about going to his first football game after this little video break. So, yeah.
got to have a concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man. And it's an honor for me to just be, you know, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm going to pop a top in your honor. Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Cap Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, you know, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you could feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network.
And welcome. Let me see if I can get my screen sharing software to work. There we go. Well, now we know that the audio is working. All right, let me get the video there. And Zach, want to come on with me?
Boom!
Oh, you're going to scare them? All right, fair enough. All right, well, we got an intro segment here. Usually we come in about 9:15, but I thought I'd give Zach a... If you do that, then you can't see your face. But yes, shields up. Zach got to go to his very first Defenders game. So he got a special Defenders whistle that was specially made.
Necklace.
He got a necklace and then he got also a shield that was given to him by the team.
I also got a ninja star, but I can't find it.
All right, well, we can't find the ninja star, but anyway, it's good. We got Champ is in chat with us. We got other friends in chat as well. Thank you all for the early crew for tuning in, and we really appreciate all of you guys for hanging out with us. We got Dreaming Truth in there, and then we got Low Bass Guy as well. And so I just thought I'd show a couple of pictures, but while I talk to Zach, we'll show some more of these pictures a little bit later. All right, we're gonna. So this was like the line that we were in when we were going into it, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, we go here. We're going into. I got to meet some cool people like Captain Obvious, right? And what else? We got some other people. So these are some live photos I converted to videos. So, sorry. Shh. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear us okay in the mix. And yeah, but this is like the opening where everyone's like running onto the field. Zach, what are some of your favorite parts of it?
I say the cotton candy, the ice cream,
Cotton candy.
dog. I got all the sweets.
Yes, but what part? Is there a part of the game that you like the most? Like,
Not really.
No.
Well, I kind of liked it. Well, we had to score a touchdown on an extra point. That's all they had to do.
I know.
To make it tied.
But we were scoring so much in the first half. We were doing so well.
Not true.
Yeah, we anyway. So one other cool thing is you got to be a part of the feeding of the snake, right? Remember the beer snake?
Oh yeah, the beer snake. I was helping.
Yeah.
Are you guys in the game again?
Yeah, well, maybe in the future. Look how tall the beer snake is starting to get. It was like really like, and then
The game. We're parts of the game. Stop going backwards.
right. I was gonna show this part right here where the snake got to be so high. Then 50 Cent came to it.
I really want. I want to go to the game. So
It's
I
fine.
want to go to the game. I want to do a snakey thing.
Yes, maybe in the future.
For 50 cents.
Yep, that was 50 Cent. That was kind of cool to see, like, the rap show. And then, yeah, let me see here. I can see. So you got to see a 50 Cent concert. It's kind of cool. And then look how tall the beer snake
I
got.
got
And then,
candy.
yeah.
Like a beefsteak.
Look, see, it's starting to go all the way around. It's starting to come for
I have
us.
to hold it.
Yeah, look at how long we got. It's so crazy. So that was there. And then at the end, we have to meet up with Carol, and there's Champ, and then Junior, and yeah, we had a fun time. Yeah. All right, Zach, any final thoughts that you have before I let you go?
The only thing I want to say is, let's go. I look like Mario, don't I?
You do look a little bit like
Except
Mario.
it says D and C in it.
Yes.
Except M.
Right. You're like the DC Mario.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
And I'm from DC.
That's true. Was there anything special about the game or anything else? The Metro? Did you like the brunch that we did before?
Oh, yeah.
That was good, the pancakes.
And get it. And going to Metro.
You want to go to Metro and pancakes? Yeah, well, we can all do pancakes at Metro.
Sorry. You're too young to do that.
Zara, please do not press the keys, though. It will actually mess up my whole thing.
It's gonna mess it up.
So thank you.
I'm gonna delete the video.
All right, I need you guys to go upstairs now. The time is up. The show is... Your segment's over. You guys did great.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, go to Mommy.
But I want you. If you ever want to defend yourself, I'm keep it right here.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in and doing it. We'll talk more Defenders in the second hour. Here, I'll make the hat bigger so I can wear it for this segment. All right, go to Mommy. Go. But we've got a couple of different guests on for our first segment. We're going to talk a little bit of hockey. Let me just end the screen share here, and we will go to the main view there. We're going to bring in Eddie Brown Music, and we also got Gil as well. So welcome on in, Eddie. I know it's been a long time since I've gotten you on the podcast. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's I'm excited for you. I mean, I know that a couple of months ago I talked to you about the Hurricanes and you said you weren't watching all the games like you used to. I know you used to be a season ticket holder. At what point did you start to tune in more regularly in this run?
When we got I think when we got the Eastern, when we won that, I think that's when I started getting more interested in it.
Yeah. I don't blame you because Carolina had gotten to the finals or gotten to the earlier rounds, but not gotten to the finals, right? So we had a similar problem. Like on our run in 2018, we hadn't been getting past the second round, and we finally did and got that monkey off the chest. And it's cool that now we can share that former Southeast Division, teams beating Vegas in the finals. So it's something that now your team and our team can share, and also winning it in Vegas. I can't imagine a more fun place to win a championship. So I'm sure that the guys had a good time last night. So.
Yeah, they put on such a production there, don't they?
Yeah, it's an entertaining place for sure. Gil, how are you doing tonight?
Not too bad. A little bummed that hockey's over, but it's end of one season, beginning of another. So that's really what I'm looking at now.
Yeah, for sure. What we usually do, Eddie, is we go back through sort of the games that happened this week, and so we'll sort of break them down, and then I'll get your sort of overall thoughts of the whole series. It was I don't know. We have 3 games to talk about, and all of them are wins. So I mean that's great for Eddie. They did something very similar to what the Capitals did, where they won a bunch in a row to just sort of knock them out before having to come home, which is a good way to do it, Eddie. I highly recommend not forcing, a game 7 in this situation, or in our mind, a game 6. Well,
a 16-3 record is pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It was cool that the Knicks and you guys both only had 3 losses each. I thought that was kind of an interesting parallel in that. And I do want to announce that we are going to have our friend Firestone Rocks Drums join us for the second half of this hour, talking about his team. So it's kind of cool that I've got a musician friend from Twitch. Each one of them diehard fans, been a fan for a long time. When did you start being a Carolina Hurricanes fan?
When they first moved to Raleigh.
Yeah, so there you go. From the beginning, and I know that Scott's been a fan of the Knicks, since probably birth. We can talk to him about it, but as New Yorkers are, they are fans for a long time. So I'm excited to get both you guys on to talk about your respective teams. Let's just go back to the Tuesday game. In this one, Carolina scores the first 2. Then Mark Stone gets one back, but then Jordan Stahl scores a power play goal, his 6th of the playoffs, but he goes on this incredible run through the finals. It was funny, he didn't get many goals before the Stanley Cup Finals, but just really incredible stuff to be able to put together so many games in a row with a goal. And then William Karlsson and Brett Howden scored in the second period to tie it up, and Gil, this keeps on happening where there's 2-goal leads and then they lose them, right? We talked about it earlier, last week's show, sort of ad nauseum, but that's kind of the way the series had been going, right? And then Jordan Stahl shows up again, and on the scoreboard. Assist by Ehlers, his 7th of the playoffs to make it 4-3, and then Ehlers gets a goal of his own and an empty netter to make it 5-3. I'm gonna grab some water real quick, but I want Gil, you give your thoughts on this game, and then shoot it to Eddie for his as well.
Well, I mean, 2 things. That's you mentioned the 2-goal lead. That's why they call it the most dangerous lead in all of hockey. 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose it, especially when it's against a determined team like Vegas. But they just. I said it. I said it a few weeks ago. They weren't anything special. And a lot of bad decisions that they made, and a lot of, the Hurricanes finally realizing that their game plan was superior and sticking to that, deciding to stick to that is what won out. And you mentioned Jordan Stahl. Well, he showed why he won the Conn Smythe. I'm hearing a bit of rumblings of why was he given the Conn Smythe when he only, and I'm going to do my famous air quotes, showed up. He didn't just show up in the final series. He was there for, yes, the award is for all of the playoffs. The Conn Smythe goes to the best player throughout the playoffs. The best player doesn't always mean you put the puck in the net every friggin' game. It means showing up as the captain. It means getting into a fight if you have to, which he did. His opening shift, for crying out loud. It means being consistent. It means sacrificing. It means being a leader. And I really couldn't think of anyone else short of Brandon Bussey, who unfortunately had something of a small sample size, maybe too small to be considered. But those were my top 2 for the Conn Smythe. I thought it was an excellent pick to have Jordan Stahl win the Conn Smythe.
I wish you could split it and just have a position get it, because the goalies combined deserve it, right? Because you have one goalie who is just outstanding for the first 3 rounds and then kind of fell apart, right? And then the other goalie comes in and has maybe the greatest 3-game stretch. Well, definitely the best for a brand new first timer in the playoffs ever, right? And so combined, that's your MVP. But when you have the goal scoring and the clutch goal scoring, especially in this game that we're talking about, it makes sense. Eddie, what were some of your thoughts?
Well, the Stalls have been such a good family for the Hurricanes. I mean, we've had them for a long time, and we've really enjoyed having them. I think Jordan, isn't he the oldest Conn Smythe? Isn't he the oldest one to win?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's saying something in itself. But if you look at, my thoughts are game 4 was about survival, and regaining their composure, I think. Game 5 was about execution and control. But game 6, I mean, they finished like champions. I mean, absolutely finished like champions in game 6. And they played their hearts out the whole series. But that game 6, they got their junk together in game 6. And they really, I think they pulled all their thoughts for the whole year and all their training and everything. They pulled it all together. And, Rod Brindamore, I was there for game 7 when they won in 2006. And for him, for 20 years to go by, and he was the captain and won it. And now he's the coach of the same franchise and won it again and gets to raise that cup up again. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I think it's really awesome for him to be able to experience that. So, but, I think that there's so much you can talk about in all those games. The run that they made, the the shutouts, for Boosie to get that shutout in that game was awesome. But in the last game that they lost, they thought that they were going to get a shutout, but then they came in the last 6 or 8 minutes and scored goals, and they didn't get a shutout. So I think that's something that that really says a lot for it as well too. Yeah, there's some good stats.
Some good stats. I wanted to put this one up because I was kind of amazed at this only happened 4 times. Individuals to win a Stanley Cup as a captain and as a head coach, right? And so it joins a very short list, and the first one since 1944 or 46, I should say.
Yeah.
Or as a captain, and then, but I mean, even the most recent times of that list is still a long time ago, if you want to count as when they were head coach. But yeah, it's just an incredible thing. He is ripped, man. I was watching their post game, and they just hulks the shirt and just lifts it, and I swear he would run through a brick wall and could play tonight if he had to. So I bet he gets out and just plays with the guys, just how he looks, like I feel like he's a coach that would get in the trenches with them and not just be the guy, in the bench just sort of to, what I mean? Like I feel like he'd get down into it with them, and that just seems like his personality. And
Robbie, I don't know if you know this story or not, but my brother-in-law built Rod's house.
Oh, wow.
And I was the realtor for selling his old house and bringing him into this new house. So I got to talk to him a lot.
Oh, wow.
And we he helped me with some training stuff, but that guy's legs back then, I hadn't seen his legs in a long time, but he was wearing shorts. His legs were like tree trunks. I mean, and like you said, just ripped, just like, I mean, just whooped down to his knees. And he was a bear. He was just a bear.
That's so awesome. No, I mean, I'm so happy for him because he's done everything for that franchise. And, it's hard because they're like, you guys are a rival of ours, so it's hard to, I'm used to rooting against you in most circumstances. But for me, it was very easy. I hate Vegas. Like, I just, for me, they're the Pittsburgh of the West. Like, I will almost always root against them. Like, I hate how they were entered into the league. I hate that they've been to the finals 3 times already when so many franchises are, like, starving for an appearance, and like they seem to get every bounce and break right from the league all the way down. So it was, for me, it was easy. I would root for the Eastern, and for you, and we've had Ryan on during this run as well, so I'm happy that we've gotten both of you guys on. But yeah, just really some amazing things, and I'm so happy for you guys. And Jacob Slavin won a gold medal and a Stanley Cup championship in the same year. He's only the second American to ever accomplish this feat. Ken Morrow was the other one in 1980, right? So I think that's an awesome thing that maybe people don't know about. But also just going back to the Stahl thing and that family connection and how great they are. I had actually forgotten that Ron was the captain because Eric Stahl was such a big part of the team even back then, right? And so it's so cool that he got to be there and embrace, his brother, and all the brothers got to be there for this moment, and just what a story of sort of finishing, well, not finishing, we don't know if his career is over, but like, early on in his career, winning it with the Penguins and being a big part of that run, and then having it be so long between Stanley Cup wins. It's got to be so amazing for him. And he really did everything in that last round. He willed his team and put it on the back, and totally deserves the MVP for sure. Gilbert, let's get into. We kind of skipped over the other two games, but I'll just quickly go through them. The Thursday game, Carolina won it more handedly. In this game, Vegas scored first, so there was a comeback. Just it was only a 1-goal comeback, which seems very ho-hum. It was the first time it was 1-1, I believe, in the entire series. Because I think that every other game there's like a 2-goal lead or something. But Jordan Staal tied it up again. Svechnikov, power play goal. Aho, gets a goal, makes it 3-1. Then it's Svechnikov gets another one on another power play, 4-1, and then they get one at the very end to make it 4-2. But a more dominating performance. And then just to go finish it off, I'll just go through it real quickly. Taylor Hall gets the first one, Jackson Blake gets the second, and Ehlers gets the empty net. But just pretty much domination, specifically from the goaltending point of view. Just really some remarkable stuff to start to never play in the playoffs and then to have 3 straight wins in the cup like that is remarkable. I'll go to Gil first. What were some of your thoughts on how this all ended up?
Well, I think I hate to swing it back to our perspective, but we are Sports on the Hill. We are DC. So I got to bring it back to a Washington Capitals perspective, especially for us. I think this, beyond a shadow of a doubt, proves that you have to have 2 quality goalies to get through the Stanley Cup playoffs. You have to. Unfortunately, I think that means in the short term, that means Charlie Lindgren's time here is probably, if not done now, very close to being done. But yeah, the Hurricanes prove that you have to have 2 goals, and Kochetkov is pretty good too. So they've got 3 right now in the pipeline that probably, run the table if they had to. Now, for those that may not have been aware, Freddie Anderson was actually diagnosed with a knee injury, and that's the reason why. Now that everything's over, full disclosure, that's why he was not even dressed for those games. Although you got to say, you lose your best friend, in the middle of a journey like that, it does take a toll on you. Somebody who you looked up to as a mentor, and I'm talking about his former agent, Lemieux, Claude Lemieux. It does take a toll. Mental health is no joke. It's a serious thing. So that had to wear on him as well. So, and that, between the mind and the body, it's just something where, you just the human will just can only carry you so far. So you just got to say stop. And that's pretty much what Rod Brindamore was saying. Look, there's only so much we can put him through. We're not even going to dress him at this point. And that's all he had to say. But that was the real reason. But yeah, bottom line, you need 2 goalies to get through today's playoffs. So I think one of, maybe not the top priority, but one of the priorities for the Caps this season should be to acquire somebody that can carry the load, maybe 30 to 40 games a season, so that Logan Thompson can get some rest and see what the market's like as far as that goes. But I think Carolina really proved something there with having, some really great goalies in the pipeline and using that to their advantage.
Yeah, because you look at the other side of it. Vegas, almost unheard of. He almost was in really bad. It's already the worst. So 5 games in a row to allow for 4 goals in the Stanley Cup is the worst in the history. Like most teams would have gone to another goalie, and they clearly don't trust their backup if you weren't even going to try that at least once.
Which is ridiculous and weird all at the same time, because that guy won them their last cup.
Right.
So I don't know. I think the consensus I'm hearing from other hockey observers is that John Tortorella, well, the sport has passed him by, and he doesn't really know how to coach today's game. Bringing him in was more of a wake-up call to that lineup, and he was more of a motivator. But as far as a tactician and running the game and managing the game and keeping things going, the game has passed him by, and I think he knows it. And I think this was this was his last run. And don't be surprised if he announces his retirement from the game completely in the next few days.
Yeah. Eddie, what were some of your thoughts on sort of how the series was so close and so wild to begin it, right? But then I feel like with the changing of goalie on your side, it seems to really put the stranglehold, and it seemed like a very different series this week than last week.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with Gil about goalies. If you don't have two very good goalies, you're not going to go very far. I mean, you look at, we outscored Vegas, what was it, 12-5 of the last 3 games, I think it was. So that kind of shows you where our strength was and where their weakness was. And I think that I think that if you look at the special teams and everything, the defensive discipline, honestly, they looked tired in Game 6. They didn't have the step, they didn't have the spunk. They just looked tired in that last game. And we kept getting our defensemen in front of the net when they needed to be there. And he made a couple of great saves too. I mean, that one where he took one, landed on his butt, and then stopped another one from the seated position. I mean, that was just a heck of a play right there. So,
yeah, it's just so wild that Tortorella came in. I was just reading some of the comments in our chat. Firestone sounds like the same story when he was with the Rangers, and then Sith was talking about how his Tortorella's time is done. And welcome on in, Scott, FirestoneRocksDrums, it's just wild to me. Tortorella, like, he has this like run within him of like where he gets people to buy in, but I do think that you're right that the team just got too tired, right? I mean, I think what Tortorella was doing was great, but there was only so much that he can push the buttons and make the right moves. But to come in with a team with like 9 games remaining and then get them all the way to the Cup Final is ridiculous. Like, I mean, regardless of win or lose, you have to give him credit for being able to do that. Like, that's, most coaches can't do that when they have the team the whole year, right? So, that is quite the accomplishment, but I just don't think that the player and personnel could sort of keep up with it. Gil, what are some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's 100%. They have. I did not see. The reason people were down on this series to begin with was not because of the way Carolina played their game. It was because, for the most part, at least to me, Vegas didn't seem like much of a matchup for them. This is going to sound weird, but for Carolina's style, Vegas was the perfect team to play against. It may not have looked that way for the first 3-4 games, which was absolute craziness, and probably never see that ever again. But I mean, the last 2 games, Eddie was right. They were wore out. They were tired, and that is what the Hurricanes do. They wear you down. And I figured that would happen from the beginning to the end. Well, it didn't. But that was the end result. That was what happened, and what got the Canes there. at the end eventually. And had they had managed to stretch it out to 7 games, that 7th game would have been a complete wipeout. I tell you that right now. How they managed to not give up more than 3 goals, I don't know. But that Vegas team looked spent. So yeah, what the third that last game was more like what I thought the series would be like this whole time.
Right. So yeah, Vegas put up quite a battle. I was kind of bored with that last game, which just sucks because I felt like there was so much excitement leading into it. I just felt like it was kind of a letdown. I mean, it's good for you, Eddie. I mean, I'm sure you.
I wasn't. It was classic Carolina hockey, where the round grind it out. I got no problem with that.
No, I know. I just the other ones with the crazy back and forth and the wildness.
For years, it works. It wins.
Right.
I'll never get tired of it.
Right.
I'm sorry. I wonder if Tortorella left his clothes in Carolina, like he said. I think he had to go back and get him.
3 times he's guaranteed a Game 7 when down going into a Game 6 when the back's against the wall, and he's 0 for 3. So maybe he shouldn't guarantee that. So
he's done.
Yeah. So pretty wild. Yeah.
Robbie, even though you talk crap about the Hurricanes, I still like you, buddy.
Yeah, no, we love you too, Eddie. And I did a followage on your account today, and we're celebrating this month 5 years of me following you on your channel. So people should definitely go check out EddieBrownMusic. I'll do a shout out here. But yeah, it's a great thing. You had a show earlier tonight. How did tonight's? I was at the pool, so I missed it. But how was your show tonight?
Good. I had a Hurricanes themed. Played some songs with Hurricane, the name Hurricane in them. But the best one was after this season. My last song was "Wake Me Up When September Ends." But I said when it comes, wake me up when September comes.
There you go. I like it. So I'm so happy for you. You were a season ticket holder. You were a fan from the beginning, and I know that it's been a hard couple of years where they've done so well, and then they've sort of got your hopes dashed quite at the end. And so I'm happy that you guys get to celebrate and be at the top of the rock again. And I thought that you guys deserved it. We're one of the best teams all season long. There was some great battles between Caps and Canes throughout this year, I'm always proud of a fellow East Coast team being able to thwart the West. I know some people are like, you can't root for a rival, but I don't know, unless I really love the West Coast team. I have pride in our conference, and I won't root for the Penguins, but I'll root for you guys. So,
well, I tell you, I got to tell you, Robbie, whenever we played the Capitals, that was one of the most jerseys from another team that you would see in our arena was with the Capitals, because I think a lot of people were season ticket holders there, but they were really Capital fans.
Yes.
and also they would bring in buses of people from DC to our games, and there would be tons of Capital jerseys out there. So it was always fun. We always had a good time.
Yeah, because it's one of the closest, and especially when it was the Southeast Division, it was one of the closest games you could go to for a road game. So if you wanted to go see one, and even I've been to that arena, and I never actually got a game there, but I have seen some concerts there. But yeah, it's not hard to get to. My grandparents, when they were alive, lived in Chapel Hill, so I spent a lot of time down there. So it's a really cool venue, and
it's 4 hours. I mean, it's a 4-hour drive. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. And I have to give credit to the fans. The Caniacs came out and were loud this year. They were, same thing with the Knicks. Knicks fans traveled. Hurricanes fans traveled too. I saw a lot of people in Vegas, rooting them on. So congratulations.
A lot of red jerseys last night.
Yeah, for sure. Eddie, any final thoughts that you have before I'll let you go tonight?
Well, I just saw something a while ago where the bookies are giving us the nudge for 2027. So I don't know if
There
you've
you go.
seen that yet, but the
I
bookies
had not.
have given us the edge for winning it in 27. So that's a good thing, I guess, that they have confidence.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
Well, that means the money's already talking, and the money says they're a good bet to repeat.
Yeah.
Right now, unless something drastic happens in the offseason, I would take that bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially you guys have got a lot of big people signed already, a lot of contracts in hand. So it's not like there's, sometimes when you win, well, also there's two factors that are helping you. One is you've signed a lot of people. Two is the numbers are going up. So you have a little room to grow, where like, often, like if a lot of contracts are coming up and the cap is stagnant, then the question is, can you keep everybody, right? And you guys have less of an issue with that than some teams, so that's great for you guys. So I think
we've got such a history because the first while they were building the arena, they were playing in Greensboro first couple of years, so they played there for the first couple of years, and then we got the arena open here, and ever since then. I mean, every single game, except for a couple of bad years that we had, every single game just about sold out. So, I give props to the Hurricanes franchise for everything that they've done, and they've really done a lot of good stuff here in our town. And they do a lot of charity work and do a lot of stuff. So, as do all the NHL teams and NFL and NBA, and all of them do good work. But they've been really good for our city, and it's really helped us in a lot. And I'm in real estate, so I like it when people do good things to bring more people into our city. So I sell more houses that way.
Right, that makes sense. And now you can sell even more houses as being the home of the champions for a year there. So
There you go.
I'm sure that will help. But yeah, no, it's a great thing. It is a great for that community. I think of it a lot of. DC is a little bit different because it's a big city, but it's similar in a lot of ways because it's just it's not a big city like a New York is, right? I would say it feels more like Raleigh than New York if I was to try to compare the two, right? Because it's more of like a smaller, not all the buildings are gigantic, and I've always loved going down to North Carolina and spending time down there, and it's cool that you guys have hockey as one of your big teams because you think about it, there's none of the other big sports are right local there. You got a little bit some football, but even they're a little far away. So
My ignorance, but your team is called the Carolina Hurricanes, correct? It's not.
Right.
It's not the North Carolina or South Carolina.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it's supposed to represent both states. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Well, that's great because then you got more of a family.
Yeah, exactly. They do that for all their teams because the idea is that South Carolina is not going to get
football also, right?
Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Well, Charlotte is only like 20 miles from South Carolina border.
Right.
So it's very close to the border there.
Central.
Yeah. That makes sense. And then, and the same with the Hornets. They just call themselves the Charlotte Hornets, but they don't really represent.
I forgot. Yep.
Yeah. They kind of represent both too in a lot of ways. It's cool. All right, well, Eddie, congratulations. I promised you that I would get you out by about 9:45, so I'm trying to be good with my my word. And I appreciate you for being a part of it. I enjoy moderating your channel. I hope that people go and check you out. We have done a shout out in chat, but definitely check out Eddie Brown Music. Remind people what days you stream, Eddie, before we let you go.
Mondays and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So for 2.5 hours. So just 2 days a week.
There you go. And you can catch him. And he's also the uncle, if people don't realize this, of Ryan, Daddy Flat Guy. So
and Godfather.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Godfather too.
Nice.
And Godfather. Yeah. So there you go. We've got Modfathers and Godfathers.
And Godfathers.
So So and we've had both on this show. So, but Eddie, we appreciate your time as always. I'd love getting your perspective, especially one to have been there the last time you hoisted the cup, and so that's pretty cool. And congratulations to you once again.
And thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Congrats.
See you guys.
Congrats.
Thanks.
All right, Gil. I know it's the end of our hockey season. I'll let you get your final takeaway. Maybe we'll do some sort of off-season something to you and I once Ovi makes his decision. But for now, as the last episode of the podcast, until I can't believe it, I'm not starting this up until September again, Gil. We're 12 weeks off here. But any final thoughts on the hockey season before I let you go?
Well, I mean, bummed that we didn't make the playoffs, but it was, consolation in that it was not a miss by very much. Still feels like a step backward, though. The next step, now that it's all over, time to get to work. Roll up the sleeves, get to work. The next step is the draft. It's in 11 days. Our good buddy Marcus Sakrum has done a scouting report for what the Caps might be looking to do in the draft. That was just released this morning on YouTube. So look for that. That's the All Sports Podcast Network. Is his banner there. So look for that. That's a Caps scouting report for the draft. I don't see them making too big a splash. There is a possibility, since they've got the 2 draft picks, that they can either trade up or use them both to package for a big trade for somebody that can help them. I don't see that happening. It'd be great if that would happen, but we'll see. But that's the next step. Then comes free agency. So eyes on this team. Hopefully they do something. I think the only disaster will be if they do absolutely nothing in the next coming weeks, and then it's going to be time to do, okay, what are we doing here? What, maybe fire some people, maybe think about tearing things down. That's the time to get worried. But let's see what happens in the next few weeks.
For sure. All right, Gil. Well, I appreciate all the hockey talk all season long. It's nice having you back in one of the first segments again. We haven't had that in a couple of, probably over a month. So I appreciate you for tuning in and being a part of these as always. And we'll definitely chat as the season goes on. Make sure that you go check out, I'm going to do the Gil command for people in Twitch chat. But you can always go to Blue Liner 98 on X. You can do the Power Play Point podcast. Search for that on Facebook. We have a great room, Facebook group. So if you want to talk Capitals off season, and we always post all of our news and information on there. And you can always check out the Power Play Point podcast. Previous episodes, they're also on a hiatus, obviously with the Caps being off. But if you always go to SportsOTHP.com, click the podcast partners button, and you can always get all the latest episodes there, as well as on all streaming platforms. Thank you, Gil, so much. And we will definitely, I'm sure, talk soon once Ovi and makes the decision with the free agency and all that other stuff.
Thanks for having me, as always, Robbie, and can't wait for next year.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much, Gil.
Night, guys.
All right. With that, we're going to switch from hockey to a little bit of basketball. Let me just throw up some of the different graphics real quickly. I'll just do this one because it's just the easiest one. Welcome on in. FirestoneRocksDrums is joining Scott, and so happy to have you here. I'm also going to bring in Arun, who I think is listening in, and we're going to bring in his thoughts as well, because he went to Villanova and is a big-time Villanova fan, so is rooting for you guys because of the Nova Knicks, obviously, that connection. So we'll bring in Arun shortly. I'm just going to message him to make sure that he is going to join us. Let me just make sure. He has the timing right, because sometimes we talk about it starting at 10. But Scott, we'll start with you. I usually go back through the previous games. I think that's kind of a fun way to do it, and then we'll talk about your thoughts overall. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to bring up the scoreboard for this. I don't know why it's giving me trouble.
You know what? The first thing I'd like to actually talk about, I saw the beginning of the hockey segment, is how I actually got into the Knicks.
Oh yeah, yes. Tell me about that.
So I was not influenced at a young age by my dad in basketball. Like basketball was like I hate to say it, but it was kind of like, you don't watch that in my house. My dad was not into basketball. Okay.
What was he into?
He was into baseball. He was actually a Brooklyn Dodger fan, and believe it or not, somehow converted to a Yankee fan when the Dodgers left instead of switching to the Mets. But whatever, that's how I became a Yankee fan. But regardless of all that, so what happened was I was like, I don't know, let's see, what was the first year that the Knicks made it into the playoffs and lost to the Bulls? Like it was like 93 maybe.
Yeah.
So I think around there, 92, 93, somewhere around there. And my ex-wife, my first wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, but she got tickets to a playoff game. I don't watch basketball. I don't know basketball. Okay. I know nothing really. I know barely anything. And I go to the game with her, and oh my God, I fell in love. I fell in love with the game. I fell in love with Jordan. I fell in love with Patrick Ewing and the Knicks and the whole New York vibe. Like right away, I caught that. I like almost instantaneously understood this New York basketball vibe and this energy. And the thing that really sucked for me was that I was watching. They were done. Like it was like the last game where they had to win or whatever it was. They were getting eliminated. So now I have a whole year before they start playing, and I could get into them. But that's how I got into the Knicks was just going to a game, and then just realizing, wow, the energy here is just insane, you know. And then of course I got to see what was it, 94 they made it, or 90, was it 94, 95? I don't know, whatever the year they played the Rockets and they lost.
Yeah, 94.
And then they lost in 99 to the Spurs, you know, and then after that I kind of tailed off a little bit. But
it's interesting because the New York Knicks lost to the Chicago Bulls. I was just thought I'd pull it up here. They lost 4 times in the 90s. In 91 in the first round, 92 in the Eastern Conference semifinals, 93 in the Eastern Conference finals, and 96 in the Eastern Conference semifinals.
It was 91 then when I got into them. That was the year. Yeah.
There you go.
So
it's fun to hear the origin story. So Arun, when did you start following basketball? When was your first foray into it?
I think around like 1992, like the last, or like 93, 92, 93, the last of the Jordan three-peat was like the first year when I was like around like 8 or 9 years old. That's when I started following basketball. And then 94, watched the finals, but just remember the OJ chase like more.
Oh my God! I was in the studio, okay, and we were watching the Knick game. Like, thank God that watching the Knick game while we're in the studio, and they put the freaking OJ thing on, and I was just it was so miserable, so mad that night. I remember that.
Yeah. So I became a little bit later, just like I was a big fan of MJ in like 96, 97, like in that like 98, I guess, like when he came back out of baseball that first time, right?
Yeah.
And sort of I followed that. And a little bit the Bullets into the Wizards as that transformation happened. And then it was so weird because, of course, I went to see the last Bulls game, in Washington when he was, for Chicago because we thought he was done, right? And so not knowing he was going to play for the Washington for 2 seasons, right? Like who could have ever predicted that? So that was kind of when I started following it as well. So last week when we last left off on Monday, they had the game, and that was the one where the Spurs beat the Knicks 115-111. Sort of the bad juju president goes to the game and undoes all of the Danhausen luck that he's given them, and just sort of a strange game. The series was so interesting. The Spurs actually led the Knicks for most of the series and only won this one game, which I think is fascinating, right? Like usually it's not, and it was by a fairly wide margin that they were leading, they were leading by 12 points, I believe, in every game in it. And so if you go back to the tape, in this game, San Antonio went off to a big start, 33-22. Then New York came back in that second quarter, outscored them 42-24, and it was just an incredible thing. You're like, oh my god, these comebacks are just insane. Throughout the playoffs, they've already had a bunch of insane comebacks, but then San Antonio outscores New York 35-27 in that third, and they outscore them by 3 in that fourth, 23-20, to only win by 4 points. Brunson still put up 32. Wemby put up 32. And you thought that maybe they're going to make a series of it, right? Because at the time, New York had won both games in San Antonio, and then you're starting to wonder, is it like the National Series, that was in 2019, where like the road team won all the games, right? So no team has ever come back from losing the first 2 at home in the NBA. It's happened in other sports, but but then it sort of sets that moment of doubt in, right? But then on Wednesday, just what
the game of games, the most amazing game. I mean, listen, I and Robbie, we've talked, off the show. I mean, you know how I feel about this team, right? And I told you, when these guys play and they're all playing like together and cohesiveness and everything's flowing and everything's working, you cannot beat these guys. Like look at the run they had getting here. Like honestly, I think against the Spurs, even I know they played well, but they didn't play the way they were playing. I think they could have beat the crap out of the Spurs if they seem to play in like these spurts where they just would just dominate, and I don't know, but that game, that was the most amazing game I've ever seen. I did place a wager on that game because I saw it. I was like, they're going to win this game, and I mean, wow, that game was crazy.
Right, I'm happy that it went the way you did, the wager, because man, it was about to not. So let's break down the game of games, as you said. So, first quarter, San Antonio puts up 41 points. I mean, that's an insane...
Dominating them. I mean, like, all over them, right? Oppressive.
Right.
The defense. They came out with, like, this killer instinct. Like I really thought, like, oh, we're done.
Yeah, and New York scores 22, and then in the second they score more, 35-27. So you at least have to think you're gonna have to chip away to give yourself a chance, right? If it's now even worse at halftime,
right?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Arun. I think they had 14 threes in the first half, and it was an NBA record.
The first half, it's an NBA record, and also some very awful officiating.
Yes.
Also in the game, the 2 fouls on Towns to start the game, and
yes,
I don't know. Now the bad calls. I remember at the time there were other bad calls too. Then they called the later. Wemby did commit a flagrant on Brunson, but from the previous game 3, where Brunson got shoved in the back of the head, always lingering over them, and I don't know. The first half, it seemed like this is not going the next way, but I guess I'll lead into the second half.
Yeah, it just wow. I mean, biggest lead in the first half, most threes. You're like, there's no chance, right? And also, you just lost the last one at home, right? So the seeds of doubt could easily creep in. There's questions on whether or not Taylor Swift is a good luck charm or not, right? So, I love her, and, you got Law and Order, Olivia Benson going, crazy. Do you know what she has to do, Scott, to get to a game? She's in a one-woman show right now. I actually saw the same show when Daniel Radcliffe was the lead in it just a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And she does her show and walks to this venue and sits courtside.
Wow,
so she shows up in the first quarter. So she probably missed most of that crazy first quarter, right? And so, So maybe they need to get her in the seats earlier as part of the problem. But so I just thought that was amazing. Like that's dedication, right? Like
Yeah.
you do a one woman show, which is super interactive, asking members of the, and you have to give the audience their lines. So it's not really a one person show in a traditional sense. You're pulling cast members from the audience and people shouting out lines that you have to give them ahead of time. So it's a lot of cerebral thinking. It's not just you have to do it. You have to then get the entire room to buy in, right? And then you go to a basketball game. And just like that. And then one of the most incredible basketball games of all time, no less, right? So
Yeah.
the next quarter, they hold San Antonio to 14 points. After 41-35, they hold them to 14. And that's what gives them this ability, right? They score 26 to give themselves a chance, right, in the fourth quarter.
That's when I placed my bet, right there, the end of the third quarter.
You did? That's,
Yeah,
Eight
I
threes in a
placed
row.
a
and
$10
the
bet. I'm
Spurs
sorry.
missed 8 threes in a row. Yeah, that's crazy. The Spurs were mentally letting go of the rope, and the Knicks were doing.
but why are they shooting threes when they're up by that much? You know
They play
that
stupid. They play stupid.
the law of averages, like it's going to eventually play higher percentage basketball, especially when you have someone like Wemby where you could just go to the rack. Like you've got this gigantic man. Why wouldn't you cause more foul trouble?
Perfect storm. Then they went to the rack. They turned it over a couple of times. Like I think the coach called timeout.
But no, go to the rack with Wemby. Like you're not going to turn it over multiple times with him going to it, right? Like I don't know, like
young and dumb.
yeah, it's wild. Like that they could have allowed for this to happen.
That they just kept Wemby in the game the whole time, and he was tiring himself out. And like
that too. Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like a perfect storm of missing threes. Then they like try to slow down the clock, turn over, and then I don't know. The fourth quarter is just incredible.
Well, it was a perfect storm of that, and the Knicks, playing amazingly, and also the stupidity of Fox. I mean, that was just.
Why do you dribble it out? Like, if you get fouled, you at least take a chance.
There were like three stupid plays by Fox, and like the last possession of the game, like what was it like? He shot the ball, then he fouled Alvarado, which I thought was like a bad foul because the clock. I was like, "What are the Knicks doing? The Knicks should call timeout like immediately." And like Alvarado was like trying to pretend to go over the backcourt, so they called the foul, so they got a timeout in, and then Fox. I guess maybe the coach told him to double team, and maybe it's the coach's fault, but that leaves OG Anunoby with a wide open lane. He was calling for the ball to shoot it.
Yes.
And he was wide open, and he just gets wide open lane, and he just gets the offensive rebound.
If you watch that play, you could. By the way, OG's my boy. OG, like I love all of the Knicks, I love all of them, but my favorite one is he's my favorite Knick. But if you watch that play, you watch Brunson get the ball, and you see the other guy, the other defender goes over to double team Brunson. OG saying, "Hey, I'm open, like he's ready to get that and hit a three," and I'm sure he would have. But Brunson was taking a shot. Like clearly, he was taking a shot. And whether he's thinking, "Hey, let me get up there as fast as I can, and maybe if I miss it, we get a chance for a rebound." I don't know if he's thinking that or not. But OG, as soon as he saw Brunson put the shot up, he's like, "Okay," and he heads right in. And also because the other guy went to double team Brunson, so he had an open lane and went right in there, got right in front of that other guy, and just tipped it right in. It was beautiful.
Yeah, just remark. I mean, that tip is just like magical. Like watching it in slow mo, and like. It's just such an incredible thing. We're going to talk a little bit before we get into the last game about this Villanova connection. You've been a big Villanova fan for a long time. You went to Villanova, but like how this chemistry, it was built, and then for them to be able to get all these players to play together and to play at this level. What are some of your thoughts as a fan that's seen them play together for so long?
Yeah, I think the Villanova thing is huge, especially the 2016 team. Like, they were the underdogs, and this whole one win and don't just like one play, one possession at a time, like was built in by Jay Wright, and then plus the chemistry that Hart. I guess like Brunson's not ever getting going, you can give it to Hart, and it's really uncommon because Josh Hart was like the best player on the Villanova team. He was the second National Player of the Year in 2017, and Bridges was taken, I think, number 10 in the draft, and while Brunson was taken the second round of the draft. And Stephen A. Smith was wrong like a couple of times. He's feeding us a lot of bad information. There are no NBA players on the 2016 team. Well, there was Hart and Brunson and McDonald's All-American and Bridges. And then later when Brunson signed with the Knicks, and like the whole compilation of saying it's like the worst signing like ever, which was insane I guess I thought it was bad at the time because the Wizards had just given Bradley Beal that crazy contract. So it just kind of made Brunson's deal. It's like, oh, he's only making like half of what Bradley Beal is making. So it's not like, because he's off a rookie contract. So it's not that bad. The Knicks have to pay somebody. Like they only have Randall at the time and I guess Mitchell Robinson. So they're taking a swing on a guy who just dropped 41 points in a playoff game against the Utah Jazz, who had a multi-time defensive player of the year. So it's not like Brunson is this spring chick. And then they just bring Villanova pieces together, Hart, DiVincenzo. They have to give DiVincenzo later to get Karl Anthony Towns. But they traded for Bridges right before that. And just the connection of Bridges being doubted the whole time, like in the regular season, he came through last postseason against the Celtics and these 2 20-point comebacks, and he comes through game one particularly. I mean, in game two, in game one and game two, was big, and just the great defense by Bridges. He doesn't need to have the ball. He'll take a lot of crap from the media, but and Hart was just a big rebounder. He did miss that layup, which made me nervous in game 4, but overall,
oh my God, he got bailed out. Like, oh,
did you hear what Brunson said?
No,
they asked Brunson today, one of the questions, I don't know, whoever it was, ESPN, what do you think was the biggest play of the series, right? And they're expecting him to say the OG tip, of course. And he said, the biggest play was when Josh Hart missed that layup. and then proceeded to foul Wemby, and you see Josh Hart on the floor with his hand on his head, like devastated and thinking he just killed it. And you see Brunson, whoever, go over there and pick him up, and they go, let's go, man. Let's go. It means nothing. Let's go. Like he said, that was the play that defined this team and that just shows you, like, you know, how this guy thinks. He's a winner. He's a winner, man.
And I love that he picks his team up. And that's one of the things I want to talk about, because Hart, you know, in the past has scored a lot better than he did in this series, right? And so, but he knew he didn't have his shooting touch. And he knew that where he can excel is back-breaking rebounds. And he even said that. It's like, other guys will get the regular rebounds that they're supposed to get. I'm going to get the ones that are going to break your back, right? And that was his mentality, right? That he wasn't going to beat him by scoring. He's got somebody for that. He's got a bunch of people that can score, right?
Right.
And, you know, if he could, you know, add 5, 6, 7 points, you know, it's a little bit, but it's obviously enough. I mean, I know he only scored 6 points in a game, but when you only win by 1, all those 6 points mattered, right? So, so only 1 for 2 on the 3, but when it was clutch, he was still a plus 11 when he was on the floor, right? But the 8 rebounds and 6 assists and 2 steals, right, are huge. Including, it's, and that's kind of how he was. And, you know, looking at the stat line for, you know, game 5, you know, for Hart as well, you know, he only has 13 points in that one, but 11 rebounds again, and you know, some assists as well, but it was a plus 15. He is a presence on the floor, right? And not every player is going to have to score the points. Right. And I have to give credit to Brunson, because he just willed the Knicks to win that last game. I mean, it's an all-time performance. It's like one of the top 10 all-time, especially if you want to consider on the road and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you and Arun talk about Game 5 for a second. I'm gonna help Zach for something real quick, and yeah.
Sure. I mean, and again, in Game 5, you know, to go down double digits, at this point, I really wasn't concerned. Like I'm just watching to see. Okay, here we go. And then, like Robbie said, Brunson just put that team on his back. He won what a 10-0 run himself, right?
Yeah, it's just
So,
crazy.
he to me, he's a leader. He's a winner. And I don't know, man. Maybe just because we won and it's so fresh and it's so awesome and it's amazing and it's so high from it. Maybe I'm just dreaming right now. But I could see this team if they could keep this team together, for the most part, and keep it deep. I see this team winning next year too. I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely. I think the only thing that's stopping them is like health, like with OG, especially because he's been normally plays like 60 plus games is like a season. But if he's healthy by the time of the playoffs, 'cause I think that's what slowed them down in 2024 against the Pacers. Like OG missing the time, Hart getting injured, and
Yep.
eventually Brunson breaking his hand, I think, and that slowed them down that year. Maybe they would have lost to the Celtics, but they got to 7 games that year. The Pacers with Halliburton, I think that might have been a tougher team than even the Spurs team this year. So we'll see if Halliburton can get back healthy coming off the Achilles injury.
Right.
But Brunson with 45 points had like the most points, like compared to his team, the percentage of points compared to the total points. It's Michael Jordan and that 1998 Game 6 Finals game against Utah tied
Yeah.
Jordan for 45 points with, I think, most points in elimination game to put the team away on the road
Yep.
with Giannis. And I guess Pettit, Giannis, Brunson, and Jordan. So that's quite a list to be on for Brunson. And
Yeah.
Wemby might have been the best defender out of all those guys that all those players had to face. Like Jordan had to go against like Karl Malone, I guess, and John Stockton, but
Right.
Wemby and Castle and Harper. Although Fox, there's a lot of jokes that they'll give him like an honorary ring, but I don't really care that much about the Spurs not shaking hands. Wasn't really thinking about that as far as the Knicks. I think they're just happy to win the title and whatever. I guess it would have been positive if he shook hands so that there wouldn't be this controversy, but the Knicks are the champs and they proved to be the better team, even though Vegas didn't call it for whatever the reason. Like I thought the Knicks had one of the most impressive final runs that I can remember, and just overall a great season for them.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I don't want to steer off the Knicks because I like keeping the focus on the Knicks, but Wemby, who's supposed to be the face of the NBA, he just disgusts me. And yeah, I hear them talking on ESPN. They're trying to set it up like, oh, it's Brunson versus Wemby now. Like you got these two massive images in the NBA. Like this is like a great thing for the NBA. But to me, he's a soul. I get it. He's young. I understand that. But like, what are you teaching kids? What are you showing? Like you be a man. You lost. It's over. Show some respect to the other team. Now, on top of that, you play like a dirty bastard. You try to step on OG's legs. You got your foot in Brunson's landing spot. You're shoving Brunson down to the ground and laughing about it. You're a piece of shit, really. So after all
It's
that,
sad because I don't know what happened because I liked him more in other rounds and I feel like something snapped in him. I don't know whether the Knicks were getting under his.
Yeah, reserved back to the Timberwolves when he punched or shoved Naz Reid in the head. And then we all rooted for Wemby against the Thunder because the Thunder were just so unwatchable. But then I was like, I'd probably go back to hating Wemby by the time the finals rolled around. And I was like, yep, it happened again.
Right. It's just so interesting. But I agree with you. It's poor sportsmanship. But I don't know. They only talked about Wemby not shaking hands. One thing I didn't really see, did other Spurs players shake hands and
the only one that did was Fox later with Brown and Cornette. So I think it's just like maybe the lack of leadership from the Spurs. Like Wemby's the young guy, and I don't think and Fox didn't even do it in real time. He did it like only after, and I think they only showed him shaking hands with Mike Brown. But I think the difference is I'll give him like some grace only a little bit because like in a lot of the times they shake hands, like they already know they're going to lose the game. So like the last time the team didn't shake hands was Chris Paul and the Suns because they thought that they were in the game. That's like it was like a one possession game, so it's kind of hard to shake hands immediately while doing that. But then like it's still not a good look of just like not shaking hands. He did shake hands in the Olympics when he lost to Curry, but again, that game was also out of reach. That was like a double-digit game, and they was talking. I think like Castle and Brunson, they were talking. Castle was talking trash to Brunson too. So it's not just Wemby, it's Castle. It's
Right.
So it's like the whole team needs to be called out, not just Wemby, and even Fox needs to probably. He did it, and Luke Cornett's like the only one that came on the court, but
Yes.
he used to be on the Knicks.
Yeah.
So like he played with Mitchell Robinson and yeah, so like Cornette was like the only one that they showed, and Mitch Johnson.
You know what else upsets me? I don't know if you guys are watching ESPN today or First Take, whatever. I was watching some of that, and you got Perkins and some other guy. I don't even know who he is, but both of them they're talking about this topic, and both of them are like, why does he have to shake hands? Who said just because society says he has to shake hands, he has to shake hands? He doesn't have to shake. Like they're defending him, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like what? Like what? What are you? So you know what? To me, it seems like you grew up in a household where you were told to be a dick. You know what I mean? Like just like to me, hey, the series is over. You lost. It's a way of showing, even if you don't respect the people, it's a way of showing, hey, you beat us. Boom, shake hand. We're done. I'll see you next year. Like. I don't see what's so hard about that, and I'm really, really disappointed that you got former NBA players telling on their shows, and you got lots of kids listening saying you shouldn't shake hands. I don't get that.
No, I know. It seems like the narrative has changed now because of this, and like that's not a good thing either. I mean, I can understand both sides of it. It's interesting. Some sports do, and some sports don't. I don't think baseball shakes hands after.
I don't think so either.
Baseball,
Yeah,
they shake hands with themselves, like the winning team just shakes hands. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So, but that's it. But it's interesting because I saw that argument online saying, "Well, do we think that baseball, all baseball players are dicks because they don't do it?" And so I didn't have a good answer for that.
Anthony Edwards got trash for shaking hands with the game wasn't over 8 minutes before. So there's like a happy medium on both sides.
Right. Exactly. But I'm so happy for you, Scott. My dad's an old Knicks fan. Was in college in Philadelphia when they last won it. But I was joking, so you were probably home for the summer, so he probably was. Could still name players from that team. So it's those things last with you forever. So it's we'll remember this team for a long time.
I met Clyde, Clyde Frazier. I met him. I actually was going to see a Knicks game in Miami. This just like 10 years ago, whatever it was, longer than that actually. And I headed into the stadium. I was by myself, and there he is going right up. I'm like, "Hey, Wall!" And he's like, "Hey," he was a really nice guy. Just talking, whatever.
Yeah.
Walked into the building together, and that was it.
Nice.
No phones back then, so I couldn't get a picture.
Right.
But, yeah, cool dude, and
That's awesome.
This team, you gotta love this team. They're all just seem like cool dudes,
Yeah. It's a really cool story. It was easy to root for them. It's not. It's a team that I always root for. So there's always kind of like a bit of a rivalry between DC and New York, but not so much in basketball. I feel like that one is not really. The Knicks hate Boston, and I feel like the Wizards and the Knicks really don't have a lot
They
of.
haven't been good at the same time, like
right. That's
Yeah, exactly. So that's difficult.
The Wizards have an early draft pick this year, so
yeah. So we got
Trae
number
Young,
one. So we'll see.
the Wizards, so there could be some playoff matchup with some
Right.
Trae Young going. So we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's going to be an interesting offseason to see what the Wizards end up doing. But it gives me hope, seeing a team like this, that maybe the Wizards will put it together some year. So now there's new anti-tanking rules. You can't get first pick 2 years in a row. So now they have very little to want to be bad next year, right? So now I
Right.
think they'll really go for it. Because I really think that they were holding themselves back to try to get this number one pick. And they would make some questionable calls throughout the season. There
And
was
if
so
they
many
didn't
games that we
lost
could have
the
won
pick,
that we didn't.
If they lost the pick, it would have gone to the Knicks. So if they finished with the 9th worst record, it would have gone to the Knicks. So
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So if we had gotten good enough, we lost the pick. So there was a reason that like, why not tank if you're right down there? What's the difference between fourth worst or first worst? So now next year there'll be more rules around it. So I'm happy that we got to be the last year of the tank, right? So we got to do that. I know that Champ is listening and is grinning right now.
If I hear y'all talk about tanking, I'm gonna kick y'all in the face.
Exactly. There he is. So with that, Scott, any final thoughts before we let you go tonight?
It's a pleasure. It is such a pleasure to be on Facebook or Instagram, going through my, rolling through my algorithm, whatever, and play up to play up to play. It just, man, it's so nice to win. It's still like not real. I cried. My wife was like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Yes." I was like, "I am." I'm even right now, like a little emotional. Like it truly is. It truly is an amazing run, and I just hope I'm gonna quote Spike Lee, what I heard him say to a crowd: "Repeat."
Yeah, there you go. You always have to say repeat. Although I think the key is to keep your coach. The Caps made that mistake where they didn't, do that, and it was just like what a stupid decision after winning the trophy. Mike Brown did everything right, and I love, he's great, and I feel like he was such an underrated coach, and I'm so happy he had the right team around him. But hearing about his process and his ability, the second he was hired, he asked Jalen Brunson if he could go to dinner with him to start talking to him and building that relationship, because he knew that if he won him over and made him happy, that his dad said he'll run through a brick wall for you, right? And so, but to have that, I think that's sort of where the last message I want to be, to have that combination of a father-son moment, as a dad myself, being able to call my dad in the last 30 seconds of the game each night. I know that I'm on a 30-second delay from where he is, but just to hear his joy, I don't even care if I'm seeing the play 30 seconds later, right? And just to be able to witness that with him and to be able to share that with my son, get to take him to a football game, a championship this weekend. Even if we didn't win, it was still, it's an exciting moment to have with a father and a son, and to be able to do that at the NBA level, which has never been done before, to have a father coach the son. And I think that was a really smart decision that the GM, president, and the owner made, to switch up the head coach but keep the assistant, right? That doesn't happen often. Often they bring a whole new staff in.
Right.
I think it was great to keep that continuality, because they knew that the Knicks were due. Well, I think that the Knicks knew that they were getting close, right? The last couple of years,
like 9 other new assistants, but they kept the dad assistant. That was like
right. That's fair. That's fair. They did get rid of some of the other ones, but I'm just saying, like the one that mattered, they kept, and that's still. Some coaches would want nobody as a holdover from the previous staff, right? So to be able to work with him, to be able to utilize that, to have him mentor his son to basically become the MVP of the team, all those buttons worked, and to have them get to celebrate it together, and just the pictures of father son with Ewing together holding the trophy, and what a cool moment. That's a story. And the other thing is, 8 years in a row we've had a different champion in the NBA, which I love parity in the sports. I hate it when there's like 6 years in a row where it's the same 2 to 3 teams. Like that's. This was way more exciting. And
unless it's your team.
That's true. But if I'm an outsider and I'm not having a team anywhere as close to it, this is what I want to watch in basketball. You don't want.
The Celtics have better odds right now than the Knicks to win the title. So if the Knicks go back, it'll still be like another underdog story a little bit. So
that's fine with me, man.
Yeah, I feel like the Knicks relish in that. I feel like they wouldn't want to be the
I think maybe
So,
that's
I
because
think
they're
that's-
making Giannis, so maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. I don't know why everyone's picking the Celtics to beat the Knicks. Maybe that has to be it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see where he lands up, and there's gonna be so many questions in the offseason for sure.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We'll see.
All right, well, Scott, with that, I'm gonna end our segment here. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Go Knicks! I'm happy for you guys, diehard fan. Thank you for opening your schedule. I know your schedule is a little in limbo right now, but when do you usually stream for people who might want to follow you in the drumming side of things?
Talking to me?
Yeah, when do you normally stream? Yeah.
Oh, usually we go Tuesday nights. I'll be on tomorrow night, hopefully, if my my physicality is okay. And then usually I stream on Thursday afternoons, but this Thursday I'm not sure. Thursday night, maybe Friday afternoon. I kind of been taking it by ear because I got some things going on. But
Right.
usually Tuesday nights. That's usually a good steady one.
You don't have a Discord, right? You don't have a place to
No,
do it.
no.
Yeah. So
But if you follow me on FirestoneRocksDrums, I mean I don't post a lot, but I usually put like in the message, like the little chat box, like I'll say, "Oh, I'm twitching tonight," something like
yeah.
that. So
Nice. So yeah, for sure. Go check them out. Firestone Rocks Drums. I just did the shout out there, and
thank you.
yeah. Scott, I doubt you're going, but the parade's on Thursday. I don't think you're flying up
No,
for that, right?
I'm not flying. Not
Yeah.
doing that. But
Yeah.
I went to the '86 Met Parade. I know what that energy is like, and it's great as they're going by you, but then once they go by you, it's fucking mayhem, man. Like you got people going this way, that way, that like it's like almost it's intense. There's a lot.
Yeah, I got to go to two. I got to go to the Nationals one and the Capitals one, and they were both pretty awesome, but pretty crazy. But I can only imagine because DC is more spread out in some ways. Like we've got the mall and the more grass
Yeah.
area in the middle. Like
Yes.
down the city streets would be a
Sucks,
different story.
Sucks. Yeah. It's like
I'm debating to go because I went to the Villanova parade in 2016, but I'm probably not going to go.
Yeah, that would be cool to say that you're at both of those. But anyway, Scott, I hope that you can continue to feel better. Definitely, everyone should go check out Firestone Rocks Drums. People that don't know, I actually moderate for both Scott and Eddie, so it's cool that the two people I moderate got to be on my last show of the season. We're taking a 12-week break after tonight. I'm happy all the championships ended, so thank you to the sports gods for not leaving me hanging, having to preview something that I wouldn't get to talk about. So I'm happy that both of you guys were able to finish it off this weekend, and congratulations again to you and all the other Knicks fans that are friends and family of mine. And we'll talk to you soon, and I'll definitely see you in the chat. And he's a great drummer. You should go just definitely check out Firestone Rocks Drums. Also, he has cool emotes that I've made, and also fun. The VIPs on the channel can control the cameras while he's drumming, which is kind of a fun thing that Scott built together. So yeah, was it good? Of course. I love you over there, and have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
With that, I'm going to talk to Arun for just a couple of minutes about the Defenders, and then we're going to bring in Sith to talk a little bit of WWE. The main event is RAW is going on right now. We got Oba Femi versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And he's talking trash and gets a low blow right now. So he's living up to his name, and so we'll see if Dirty Dom is able to somehow find a way to get the win. He's using his dad's move on Oba Femi right now, and with a frog splash to boot. But Arun, let's talk a little bit about going to the Defenders game together. You can see here, my son got that. We also got a cool whistle. He was on the first segment, Arun, talking about his thoughts. He loved everything but the game. He liked the cotton candy, the Metro, the food before, after, all that. But, I mean, there was some good parts to the game. We also got to be treated to a 50 Cent concert. What were some of your favorite moments of the championship?
I think it was feeling good when they were up by 9 points at halftime. Granted, they did give up like a touchdown off of a turnover, which was probably critical. But and also, I guess Matt McCrane made another 60-yard field goal, and he tied a record for the single, or he had a single season record of 4 60-yard field goals. So maybe he can get an NFL job. But and I guess the beer snake was kind of cool holding it for a little bit, then got a little tired holding it, and the 50 Cent concert was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to show one moment from that real quickly. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Let me see where I skip ahead a little bit to the beer snake part because I thought that was pretty cool. Let me see. Oops. So it was just after this, I believe. So here you can see the beer snake. It was getting up pretty high. Oh, there's, oops. These are the 50 Cent performances. I thought he did really well. And the acoustics I heard on TV weren't very good, but overall, yeah, it was pretty cool. So you can see the beer snake in our section here, and then it's coming right for us. And up there, that was the one I wanted to get a picture of. There you are holding the beer snake. We even got some pictures of Zach being able to hold it up as well. It was cool. They wanted to put it right through our row, but we didn't have enough people on our row, so I was begging them to like, please put it up one row higher. I also didn't want to carry it.
Yeah,
so,
that was a good decision. I'm glad there weren't people in a row because even the people behind us, they were tired of holding it, and then it kind of broke up. And I was like, yeah, you guys should just break it up. That's what I told them.
Yeah, no one's gonna know at that point anyway. So, and there you can see we actually got surrounded by it by one point. So it was going down both sides, which is pretty crazy. And afterwards, we did get to catch up with Carol on the way to the metro, so that was really cool as well. But I'm going to stop the share there. But yeah, it was disappointing, but I'm happy that they got a 60-yard field goal to cut it to 7. And then we drove down the field. We almost tied it up. And unfortunately, we didn't. But, you know, to have a one-possession game and with all the injuries to be on your fourth quarterback, it was still a great season. I really enjoyed going with you and seeing everybody and so many fans. And I thought that they put together a great event, and it was a lot of fun to go to, and I'm happy that we all went. Yeah, I hope that we get another one of those United Bowls in the future. I know that they rotate locations every year, but I'm kind of happy that the World Cup happened this year, and so our stadium was available because of that. And I know they said it was a sellout. I think probably 2/3 of Audi was full with actual people in the seats. But it was a good atmosphere. I thought it was a family friendly atmosphere. I would say even more so than Commanders games. I really at no point did I feel like unsafe for Zach or people kept on giving the kids different stuff and just everybody seemed to be picking everybody else up and no one was like yelling at the Kings fans, really. So, I don't know. I thought it was a really good overall experience. Any final thoughts you have, Arun, before I let you go?
Just touching on some Wizards news that Sarr is going to have foot surgery, so he's going to miss most of the offseason. And Darren Peterson now thinks he's going to number 1. He's only worked out with the Wizards, so it's going to be AJ DeBenza or Peterson. Likely, I guess Boozer could be picked, but though, like, it's weird that Peterson just like he's like, all right, I worked out with the Wizards, and most people, I think Vegas has DeBenza still going number 1, but the odds change a little bit towards Peterson today, so it'll be interesting to follow who the Wizards pick in the draft, but we'll see and what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Arun, I had so much fun hanging out with you, and it was a great day. I'm happy we've been able to go to these Defenders games together. I miss Tim joining us. He was out of town. He's been a staple at a lot of these as well. But it was great having Champ and his whole family and you and being able to see CP3 and Hurt was in the building and I was trying to get a hold of him, but it was running late and man, it was such a. Did you take the Metro back home? Did you end up going to the Nationals entrance or how did you end up going
I had
home?
to go to the bathroom, so I think like I was a little late. I saw Ken, but then I had to go to the bathroom. I figured like, oh, I could walk with you guys, and then I think you guys left or something, and
And then we stopped for ice cream out in front, but I didn't know where you were at that point.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were at that point.
But then, like the Nationals game got let out at the same time, and so
it was like so chaotic. People were leaving with bobble. I was like, whoa, it's really crowded. I was like, it took me like a little bit to be like, wait, the Nationals. And the game wasn't even over at that point, it was still like up in the air. So I guess for the Nationals, just fans leave early and
no, the game was over. It literally ended right when we walked up. So I was looking at the stats
because like some of the National fans didn't even know like they didn't even know the game was over. So maybe those fans had left early and the game had ended.
It just got to huge, massive humanity outside of it to the point where Carol and I looked at each other. We were like, I'm not standing in this line just to get into the Metro. So we decided to walk back to the waterfront station, which we should have just gone to from the start because that's only like 0.8 miles.
I think I got ahead of you guys somehow. I don't even know how that because you guys met up probably and were talking.
Yeah, we met up and got ice cream, which slowed us down. And then anyway, we ended up walking like a mile and a half around to waterfront. And then by the time we got on, it was so packed because it's still pulling people from the station before, right? Okay. So Zach, I like pushed him, and we like were, but luckily at waterfront, L'Enfant Plaza is so close that like you could, he could leave and.
I think I just got in at the right time in the initial that I could.
Yeah, I think you actually may have beaten it because we didn't stay for ice cream. I thought you guys
just like left. I was like, oh, you guys had left.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You're probably smarter to leave earlier. Us getting ice cream was a bad move. Not that my son really gave me a chance, but
we didn't touch the Metro. Just said, can we just take a lift all the way to the Metro station? And I said, let me see. And we ended up taking a lift, though it took forever to not only catch our lift, but then get out of there. Dude was driving a Tesla Model 3 and, trying to get us out of that neighborhood was a bitch. But we ended up getting to Metro station and then
which station did he drive you to?
Van Dorn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's the closest metro station to my apartment is Van Dorn, which is the second to last on the blue line.
Yeah. No, I think you were smart to do it that way. Hopefully it didn't cost you an arm and a leg, but
Nah, it didn't cost me an arm and a leg.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that was the one thing I do like about Metro is it didn't cost me hardly anything because it was like $2.50 each way, and free parking. So you can't beat that. Especially like I was looking at Spot Hero and everything was like $75 because the Nats game and the Defenders were at the same time. So
yeah, I showed Jess that. I just saw that sign because she was originally looking for us to drive up there and park somewhere, and I said, "Babe, it's going to be way too expensive." And then when she saw that sign, I said, "I told you, didn't I? Like it's going to be hella expensive because you have both you have the Nationals and you had the United Bowl. Just the United Bowl alone, it was going to be expensive. But then you right. Couple in the fact that the Nats were playing at the same time, yeah."
And it's an afternoon game, so like more families go to Nationals games in that circumstance. So it's like pretty popular. Yeah, Bobblehead Day makes it even more popular. So it was rough. It was funny because like I heard vendors were like trading bobbleheads for hats. It was a wild scene outside of the whole thing. Anyway, it was a good time. I guess I'm gonna get Champ. I'm gonna get your quick thoughts, and then we'll just get because we've kind of talked about the Defenders. But do you have any quick thoughts on taking the family and going to the game?
It was a very cool experience. I know we went to Defenders regular season finales at Audi Field, and the energy was always good. But this time, it was just such a different energy because it's a championship game. Even though we were technically the visiting team, you couldn't tell by the reaction of the crowd that this was a road game for us. It was absolutely a home game for us. Even when the Louisville Kings players trying to talk at the beginning of the game, they drowned him out with booze. And then when Bradley Moore went up to talk and everybody just went crazy, it was just a great atmosphere. It sucks that the game went the way it did. The run game did the best that it could for this game in order to keep them in it. They ran collectively for 262 yards, and Valladay had that touchdown, big touchdown too. He ended up with only 4 rushes, but 111 yards. So he was the leading rusher of everybody on this game. But it was all about defense. Kings had 2 sacks and had 3 turnovers, an interception and 2 fumbles, including that one fumble where dude was gone, and then he gets punched from behind and he goes all the way to the end zone. That was a killer.
I think if we don't turn the ball over, we win that game.
I think so too. I think that if that turnover doesn't happen, I think we're talking a different result than 27-20. Honestly,
Bean getting injured, I think was.
That was also a critical one too. Being getting injured and having to go with EJ Perry, who didn't fare as well as Bean. Bean only went 3 of 8 for 19 yards before he was left the game with the injury. EJ Perry went 5 of 12, 50 yards, and threw that interception. Didn't throw any touchdowns. Chandler Rogers didn't do any better either. 9 of 17, 81 yards, and he threw 2 picks. So it was a gettable game for the defenders. They just didn't get it. And I think that's what's the most disappointing part. But I still think they have a great core roster. Hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully, but they hope that some of them don't get signed to the NFL come the fall, because then they can lose that core. And then hopefully you get Jordan Te'amu back, hopefully before the start of next season. But he got injured so late. And usually ACLs are a minimum a year.
Right.
A minimum.
He already said that he was actually interviewed by some fans or somebody, and he actually said that he thinks he would rather come back to the UFL than try to be able to rehab and get into the NFL. So I think in his mindset, he's just going to try to rehab it and go to that, and then if he does well next year, then maybe he tries out for the NFL. I don't know, but he's running out of years. But maybe he just has resigned himself that this is, he's a fan favorite and he's doing great things here, and not everyone's going to be an NFL quarterback, And so, yeah, it's a shame that injury bug really hurt us. But I really thought that the city put together a great experience. I really enjoyed the 50 Cent concert. Man, sitting in that, it was awesome. And
by the way, y'all, if y'all didn't go to the game, they had announced that the first 5,000 through the gates was going to get a T-shirt. This is the T-shirt they gave out.
Nice.
And it's a really, really nice T-shirt too. And now, now I have something that said, hey, I was there at the now known as the United Bowl instead of just the UFL Championship. I was there and got the T-shirt as proof, even though we lost.
I just wish that they had some either kid sizes of anything. I couldn't find a kid size shirt, official or unofficial, on the street. Nothing. No one. I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
They had XL and
there was definitely some kids
XL.
there. Yeah, I was like, that was not going to work for me. But I did. It was really cool.
Robbie's like, that ain't gonna work for me, brother. That's an indie wrestling thing right there, Robbie. That ain't gonna work for me, brother.
Right, exactly. But it was cool. Zach got a bunch of stuff that was given to him from other people to celebrate, the defenders, and so he'll, get to keep this. I love that we went up into they had a fan fest beforehand, which had little games and stuff that you could do, and music and things. And there was a giveaway thing where you get towels. So we got some towels that all say, defenders and all that sort of stuff, and included about the Golden Cup. And we took some of the cups home with us to keep it from the Golden Beer Snake. And then, but there was a separate hidden one that if you're like a little kid and you come up to the booth, they pull out from under, and they just had these very few of these foam shields. And it was cute because Zach, on the way there, I was telling him, our thing is that we're shields up. And he's like, I got to find myself a shield, Dad. And then right away, he got this, and he's so happy about this foam shield. So, which I think is way cooler than a foam finger. So, so anyway, he had a good time. I think that losing put a little bit of a damper on it, for him, but he still loved all the other stuff, the food, the sugar, the party out. I mean, whenever I take him to a baseball game, he cares more about all that stuff than the game anyway.
And he really got along with Junior, which is crazy because Junior's is starting to get into that mode where he's starting to talk to people that he doesn't know and whatnot. Because before he was very shy about talking to people he didn't know, but now he's kind of grown out of that a little bit because he's going to the family reunion with us next month, and even though he didn't want to go about a year or two ago, but I really like that Zach and Junior got to hang out, and they were having a blast. Junior had a blast. He enjoyed it because he's getting ready to graduate from elementary school tomorrow. So that was his graduation gift was, him to be able to go to a championship game, and had a blast. Even though we lost, had a blast. Even though I was feeling it the next day though, from the heat and everything.
Yeah, man, I was wiped. It was a lot because it's adrenaline just to push your kids and you through it, right? And then it's just like wiped out after all that. But it was cool because Hurt brought his daughter, so it's cool that of the children of the True Radio Network, right? All got to be at the same event in DC together, and it's rare to get a championship hosted in DC. So it's a cool, especially for like a one-off. Like it's one thing when it's a series when everyone gets a home one, but it's cool when it's just like a single one-shot. So I thought it was a great time. I had a great time. Obviously, I wish we would have won, but the other team I thought was very respectful of their fans. Like when I met with them after the game and we were walking, they were all very kind. They were asking us for fun stuff to do in the area, and they were thanking us for the hospitality. And I thought they were very respectful. What?
We're not like Knicks fans.
Yeah,
I heard Knicks fans went absolutely ape shit after they won a championship.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
no,
but
we didn't tear their jerseys off or beat
Right.
them up, but we're classy, I guess. But for now, I don't know if the commander. Hopefully, Commanders fans when we're good again. Hopefully, we're classy too. I think we'll be.
yeah, we'll see. But I don't know. For some reason, I felt like it was even a more family-friendly environment there than at least at FedEx Field. We'll see what it's going to be like at the new one, but or Northwest.
Oh yeah, and then I just want to that was so awesome that Daryl Green and Brian Mitchell were at the game.
Yes, I thought that was very cool too. Yeah, and they seem to really embrace it too. I saw them doing a lot of posts about it and stuff. All right, well, Arun, thank you so much for your coverage of both the NBA and UFL finals. We're going to switch over to wrestling here to be one of our final segments, and then talk a little bit of basketball and baseball to end it. But Arun, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, we know if the Defenders are looking for a quarterback, they can call. And
all right, we're not doing that.
Well done.
He's too busy with flag football in the Olympics. Okay.
Right.
No, you gotta do double training and do the sports talk show, and then you can give us hot takes on UFC or whatever after the game.
Right.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll end the segment. But thank you, Arun, and we'll see you in the new year, so to speak, in the fall season, which after our 12-week break. So we're gonna go all the way through Labor Day, and we're gonna come back and we'll recap Week 1 for the Commanders. We will all make our predictions before and post them on the graphic as we do. But the first show we're not gonna do any view of the season. We're going to go right into recapping Week 1 this season and give everyone an extra long break for the summer. But Arun, appreciate it as always, and we'll talk soon.
Sure. Thanks for having me on.
All right. With that,
Sith,
we're going to
old bastard.
Thank you, Sith, for staying on for so long. I know I've been good for the last couple of months, getting you guys an earlier wrestling segment time, but today
that's past his bedtime. I don't know what we're doing here.
Oh, found out something about a movie that I'm anticipating watching next month. Evil Dead Burns. The director noted that one of the scenes had to be edited to get an R rating. And I'm like, oh, bring on the director's cut. I wish the guy could have done what Brian De Palma did with Scarface. The theatrical cut that's rated R is actually the X-rated cut from the MPAA. He just slipped it by and sent that to theaters with an R rating.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. All right, let's talk about it. We just had a big match with Oba and Dom. Sith, what was your instant reaction to the culmination of today's Raw episode? Sith.
This was really wild where it came to what happened with the main event. John Powell, ProWrestling.net said it's a squash match. And I'm like, no, if it were a squash match, you wouldn't have JD McDonough or Jordan Devlin out there interfering at all. It would have been like a minute and done. The reason why it was so short, though, is because of the fact that not listed in the rundown that was put out there before the show, but we had a match between Javon Evans and Austin Theory as your penultimate main event. And I think they should have done as hell. I realized they had to do something to bleed in to get Jay and Javon something to lead into their match on Friday, but it would have been better off if you just let the Vision shenanigans out of Javon's promo, let him drop his promo, let Jay answer back, then go to your main event and give it more time to bleed. But the main event did its purpose, though. It made Oba look like a beast incarnate that could destroy anything and anyone in his path, including Brock Lesnar, who, yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I really thought this was going to be the time where he was going to like somehow interfere and give Dom the. So it was just an interesting, because we talked about that for a while that there was going to be when's the opportunity for him to do that, and maybe it's in the finals. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. So there's one more semifinal on SmackDown, right? Or
Yes.
And remind people who that one's between.
Javon Evans and Jay Uso, and they both cut really good promos against each other today, especially Jay Uso. He says, "You want to get bouncy? I'm gonna bounce your ass out of this tournament." And then he said, "If it's over, I'm gonna overwalk your ass out this tournament." I was like, "All right, that's the Jay Uso that everybody fell in love with. That's the one right there."
Right.
And the main event was what I expected. They were going to try the shenanigans, thinking that was going to be enough against a guy like Oba. And Oba had to prove to him that shenanigans ain't going to get you nowhere in life, son. That's what that was. And because of that, we got Oba waiting on either Javon Evans, who he has faced multiple times in NXT, or Jay Uso, someone he has never faced before. But either way, we're going to get either a first-time matchup or a matchup we've seen before. I'm looking forward to it though.
Since I actually didn't see many of those matches, how did those two match up when they were at NXT together?
They were really good. They weren't short like you're seeing with him on the main roster. They were actual bangers, and they were for the NXT Championship when Oba was the champion the first time around. And Javon Evans challenged for it a couple times. Actually, he challenged for it once in his first reign, and then in his second reign, he challenged, and that's when Oba gave up the title to go up to the main roster. But both of those matches were really, really good matches. So if we get Javon versus Oba in the finals of the King of the Ring, I'm guaranteeing it's going to be a banger.
I actually almost wonder if that would be a smarter move for them because they've got chemistry already, from a storytelling.
Nah, it's gonna be Jay. Jay is getting a renewed push. Everybody loves Jay, so they're giving him a renewed push and whatnot. Javon's not gonna win. I hate to say it. I would love to see Javon versus Oba again because the first two times were awesome. But I think we're gonna get Oba versus Jay at Night of Champions in Saudi.
And who do you think is gonna win that one then? If that is who it is.
I think that Oba wins. Oba wins regardless of who's in it, whether it's Jay Uso or whether it's Javon Evans. I think Oba wins it all.
And you don't think that Brock somehow finds a way to mess it up?
I mean, that seems to be the prevailing theory that Brock is going to cost him the match at Night of Champions to set up their third encounter at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I mean, that would be the way to do it.
No.
Yeah. So it is. Let's see that.
Have Oba on the verge of beating whether it be Jay or Javon. It's going to be a banger regardless of who it is. Then all of a sudden, Brock comes in and just destroys Oba. And then, as I said last week, we go to last man standing, either night one or night two. And what I suggest to go even further with this is something you guys will like. Have this as the first match that's on the Unlimited / Netflix part of it. The first match on Saturday night or Sunday night. Do not let it be one of the ESPN or ESPN2 matches, because this is a match that you want to open up the main, what I would call the main Unlimited card Saturday or Sunday. Start it off huge is what I would do, because last man standing, you could use more weapons that way. You don't have to worry about, ESPN people being, oh God, it's too bloody. You can have a little bit of blood in there possibly, and you can really make it a big attraction, big time. But as I said, it'll be Brock's farewell for now. It'll be his farewell for now. He'll probably be back next April in Saudi because, as Champ and I both know, Saudi money brings people out of retirement. Some people wish that they had refused that. I'm not going to name names of certain wrestlers, but they had
Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Yep. I remember watching that, and in the group chat with Champ and Donnie, we're all like, what the fuck is this shit?
Crazy.
Yeah, that was such a shit show. That was.
And my nephew, God bless him, he's sitting beside me going, what's going on here? And I said, a whole lot of bullshit.
A whole lot of bullshit.
So let's talk a little bit about the bloodline before we sort of end our segment tonight. It seems that they're really pushing the bloodline hard. There's talk of, whether or not the bloodline will be reunited again, or not. So I hadn't realized. So two of the members of is it MFT? My Family Tree, yeah, MFT. Have been let go, right? So they don't have the four members anymore. It's just the two. Is that correct, Champ?
Tangaloa and JC Mateo were let go about almost 2 months ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, the MFTs, the only people in the MFTs left are Solo Sikoa, Tamatonga, and Talatonga, formerly known as Hikaleo. Right. That's all they got left when it comes to the MFTs. And now they're doing this thing where it seems like Solo might or might not be back with the bloodline. I'm going to tell you like this. This is the way I see it. People are going to be mad at the fact that the bloodline are once again the prominent storyline on TV. There's a reason for that. Because they draw. Because they're over like Rover. Because the fans are all over, eat it up. So there's going to be some people that are going to be mad about the bloodline. But I mean, when it's successful, which it has been, then why not use it?
Yeah. Sis got something. Champ side. And on top of that, you have a side of Jacob Fatu that we saw in MLW. Okay, that's being unleashed right now. The controversy of Jacob Fatu without calling it Contra. You're seeing that right now. You're seeing Roman Reigns get back to Mob Boss Roman circa 2020, 2021, where he's really manipulative and pulling the strings like this. This story, some will say, is jump the shark. I admit I said that at first, but seeing Jacob tonight, I was like, you got to keep it going. As Champ said, it's making money. The crowds are hooked on it. Oh, but Sith, the YouTube dislikes about Jey Uso. I don't give a shit about YouTube. I don't care how many dislikes Jay winning Friday night got on YouTube. That is one thing compared to what I have seen other people within my circle, outside of my circle, react positive to it. So yeah, people can be salty about Jay winning. They can be salty about the bloodline coming back together yet again. But at least this isn't having Paul Roma joining the Four Horsemen or do what they did in WCW with the NWO, which started out really, really good, but then everyone that was an expatriate of WWE ended up in the NWO at one point. Thankfully, Vince Russo isn't booking the bloodline, or we'd be fucked by now.
By the way, Sith saying fuck YouTube. That just killed any chance of us going back on YouTube.
I mean, technically, we're on YouTube right now. Actually, one interesting thing talking about YouTube. I want to see right now. I may have, while we were chatting, may have actually. Oh, we're very close. I'm at 99,620 views now on YouTube. So we're getting there. Actually, I put up a couple of videos. I meant to put up another 50 Cent video because those were doing really well. So I may put another one of those up and see if I can get over to the 100,000 mark on YouTube. But so I understand. Fuck YouTube. It's a very weird place. The algorithms are hard to understand. I don't. I've been doing it for 17 years over there, and I still understand very little. And sometimes it's like maybe people dislike it, but then they watch it, right? So then there's a question of like, does it matter if they liked it or didn't like it? I mean, it's the whole thing with heels, right, Sith?
Just like the media making a big deal out of it. Okay, yeah, someone hit a dislike on a Disney trailer. Who gives a shit?
People give a shit, apparently.
Yeah, but I mean, eyeballs are eyeballs. Are you selling your marketing dollars? So it's just interesting to see. I've got one last question to Sith. I told him we'd talk about it on the show. So, do you like heel characters or face characters more? Your answer was it depends on the character, but I just wanted you to be able to elaborate.
It does. For people like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, he's one of my favorite baby faces of all time. Okay, the guy was a genuine guy you could get behind. I even can go as far as the Von Erichs as well. Also like your anti-hero baby faces like Stone Cold Steve Austin, going up against the Boss and, certain phases of The Rock as well. I like your baby faces as much as I like heels. The reason why I'm drawn to MJF as the best heel in pro wrestling right now, though, is because he keeps kayfabe.
Mm-hmm.
Deep down, he's probably tickled his pigs and shit that the Knicks won the NBA World Championship for the first time in 53 years. Deep down inside, he's tickled. But the character that he plays right now is an absolute asshole. He's an absolute scumbag. So, of course, he's going to come out with a narcissistic tweet and say, hey, it took them 53 years. I got the title back in 8 weeks. Why are we celebrating these dorks? He's staying in characters. Can't be tell you. I love wrestlers that keep kayfabe because the fact that was what I was raised on. Until that illusion was broken on TV, it was good to have that illusion of faces versus heels. There were some faces I didn't like Hulk Hogan, but the flip side of the coin is there are other people like Tito Santana, who was a lifelong career-long baby face, who I absolutely loved on the heel side until he went to TNA. I loved Ric Flair as a heel. The problem is that when he went to TNA, I'm like, bro, you're retired. Go home. But then something that Maven said on YouTube when he was describing Nate explained to me why he went to TNA and why he still had to have a last match that was depressing to watch. He said he was at a bar one night with Flair and he told Maven, Maeve, they catches that when I spend $10,000, I spent $20,000. So he was always spending more than he was making. And of course, the divorces that he went through and everything else. I can get why he still had to go, but he had other gifts after Shawn retired him, and I thought that was a beautiful way to send him off. Going to TNA, honestly, I thought that was a slap in the face to Shawn Michaels, who's one of the best ever to lace it up face or heel.
Interesting. Um, so would that be your favorite? That was gonna be my next question. Favorite heel, or for me, my favorite is like the Undertaker. Which I
My
don't even know if
favorite
he is a
heel,
heel because he was so beloved.
my favorite heel all time is someone along the lines of Undertaker that floated between heel and face. But my favorite heel was and still will always be Rock. When he turned and joined the Nation of Domination, he did the right thing. He's like, for a year, y'all been saying, die, Rocky, die. And what people don't realize is Rocky Maivia didn't hit with the fans, but when he turned heel, we started to see what The Rock was going to turn into right there. We saw what was going to happen. If you go back and you watch his promos with the Nation of Domination, you saw The Rock coming out, not only as a wrestler, but as a sports entertainer. I wouldn't, if Champ were to tell me right now, 1996, hey, bro, this guy, Rocky Maivia, he's going to be one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. I'm like, bro, come on, man.
You would have thought I was a goddamn liar.
Yeah. If Robbie had said, Dan, you got to believe me, Rocky Maivia, he's going to be big. I was like, bro, come on, man.
You would have thought he was full of shit.
And y'all are family to me. I would have been like, no, guys, good. No, man. But lo and behold, by the end of 98, who's one of the top guys in the company? Then in, I think, 2002, he gets a starring role in his own fucking movie. Scorpion King, which wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty decent.
Yep, and then that catapulted him into a crazy movie career. So one of the most marketable stars in Hollywood for a while. So, but no, it'll be interesting. I still was waiting for The Rock to come back, and like I felt like they brought it, like they pushed him up, and then I feel like that just I don't know. That was such a weird scenario. I don't know what happened.
Forget that part of last year.
Yeah.
So much.
I feel like that was a waste. Like I feel like they could have done more with it or just leave it alone. But I feel like they just kind of half did it. Like I don't know. It didn't sit well with me.
It's just like using The Rock to announce. It's just like using The Rock to announce that WrestleMania was in New Orleans next year. Then they turned around and said, "Nah, it's in Saudi."
Yeah.
And then it's also like having Cena out there saying, "Oh, we're gonna have a John Cena classic."
And we ain't heard shit about it since.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my favorite Kevin Owens gimmick, the face of America. He was there one night taking a dump on people. Next night he's back to the prize fighter.
Yeah, that was a waste too. That had so much potential. The face of America gimmick had so much freaking potential.
It did. But no, a stodgy old.
I'm actually excited they're going to bring him back. It looks like Kevin Owens is scheduled to come back in that Canadian run that they're going to do in a couple of weeks, and so it'll be interesting to see where he pops his head up, and because they were having him promo it, and I feel like that would be a smart time to have his return.
I think I did see something online about the fact that he would be making his return when they do the Canadian loop. And whatnot, because that would be a perfect time to bring him back because he'll get the big.
He basically said it himself. They basically had him announce, "I'm returning to WWE, and here are the dates. Buy tickets." So which is interesting because usually it's like those things you keep very like, but they know how much of a sell he is up north of the border. So like, I feel like you kind of have to, utilize that. I feel like you wouldn't want to surprise people in a half sold out arena, right? You'd rather let people know and have it be everyone there. So, but Sith, with that, let people know what's happening this weekend on The Basement.
Supernatural countdown of 45 films this past Sunday on the basement, which was a lot of fun to do because, as Robbie and Champ know, when I do franchises, there's usually one where people go, dude, that movie, oh man, I can't wait. I knew that number 45 was going to be Exorcist 2, The Heretic. I knew it. As bottom heavy as this countdown is, before you get to good movies, I knew that was dead last because it is just abysmal. And this next week, next Sunday, I wonder what would happen if some of these movies had a fourth wall break to tell us that the movie sucked. You know? And I thought about mentioning Jaws for the Revenge as one of them with Michael Caine saying, thank you for seeing my movie. I don't remember it because I was intoxicated, but I have a nice house because of it. But your movie sucks. Turn it off. I nearly put that in there, but I'm like, I've dragged Jaws the Revenge for 11 years on this network. I think that's enough.
Right. There you go. All right. Well, that sounds good. I'm debating seeing a couple different movies, possibly
Obsession was
tomorrow.
awesome.
Which one?
Obsession was awesome.
Okay, I was wondering if you were going to see that one. So you like that one? And then I'm curious about Disclosure Day. I've heard good and bad things about that.
That's fine, but not great. But I open for Saturday night. We have our first 5 out of 5 movie that came out last weekend. I'm going to let you know what it is right now.
About fucking time. This dude's like, he's a harsher movie critic than Cisco and Ebert were.
Oh, get this. 5 out of 5 goes to The Furious. It's a Hong Kong-based action thriller. That's martial arts related. That is
the number one suggested movie I should watch on the Regal app right now, actually.
Go see if it's you and Liz and y'all want a good action-packed date night, go see The Furious. But know that this is not your typical Jackie Chan movie. This is actually brutally violent.
Oh my God.
I just Lee and Lethal Weapon 4.
I might take the kids to see a movie tomorrow. Holy moly. I just saw that there's an 11 a.m. K-pop Demon Hunters movie sing-along. I promised them that I'd always let them see it in theaters if I ever saw it again. It's a $1 ticket. And I have a pass. So, like, that would cost me, the nanny, the kids, $3 to go to see the movie. That's a pretty good deal. I feel like I should take advantage of that.
Deal.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I might do that tomorrow.
Here, the only perk we get with Regal is, like, special screenings on Monday nights where it's undisclosed what the movie is, and then you go in there and here's your movie. You go to see a movie and it could be anything. I think reportedly a friend of mine said that he wouldn't be surprised if Toy Story 5 is one of the Monday shows to prepare people to see it, just so that way they can get families in to go see it early.
Did you see Scary Movie, the reboot?
It was decent.
All right, so I need your help because you're actually somebody that's seen both of them. Disclosure Day or Scary Movie? Which should I see?
Disclosure, because I'm a Spielberg mark. He's one of my favorites of all time, and this is like watching AI, artificial intelligence, where it's not as rewatchable as other Spielberg films, but still fucking good with 3.25 out of 5.
Nice. Okay.
I gave Scary Movie a 3 out of 5 and told people, yeah, it's a good movie, but I went in with like high expectations because the Wayans brothers are back, and I'm not a fan of the last 3 films because they weren't involved directly. So I'm thinking that this was a predecessor to what's going to be coming next at a Scary Movie, because I know there's going to be an 8 at some point.
Right. So it's interesting because to get myself ready for Scary Movie, I noticed there's a couple of Wayne's movies I had not seen yet. So I tried to watch 50 Shades of Black last night. Oh my God, that is a terrible movie. Like, it is maybe one of their worst movies. I don't know. Like, have you seen that one?
I think I saw it once, and I was like,
I put me to sleep. It was so bad.
Wasn't all that good.
No, it was so bad, and I love their movies. I was like, man, it's got less than 10% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What
Yeah,
does?
that means that shit is ass. If it got 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, that shit's ass.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Black. I'm just going to pull it right up here as our last note here. But it had, because I looked it up last night and I couldn't believe it, but I was still watching. 4%.
That movie's ass.
No. It beats one of the movies in the 30 films that we need a fourth wall break. It beats Score of Highlander 2, which gets a
0. I didn't know that you could go that low.
0.
The popcorn meter only is a 19%, and usually fans of the movie rate it like at least 20. I haven't seen
the popcorn meter's high, the critics hate it, or the reverse. Critics love it, popcorn people hate it. Rotten Tomatoes is pretty weird. Metacritic is about the same way, but I like Metacritic because one of my aunts got me into Metacritic, and I like Rotten Tomatoes. But one of the things was one of the reviewers, I can't remember the person's name off the top of my head, but they admitted that they didn't sit through the entire movie and they still wrote a review.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how can you walk out of a movie and still write a full review on it? No. If I'm going to sit through a movie, I'm going to tell you all about it. If I walk out, I walk out.
Yeah, that's the answer. You couldn't. My mind walked out of that 50 Shades of Black. I fell asleep halfway through, and I was like, it was probably for the best. Like, as everyone online I read, like, walked out within the first 10 minutes, which I understand. Like, the first 15 minutes of that movie is really bad. If you can actually suffer through that, it gets a little bit better, but like, I mean, it's almost like a threshold as a test of the audience. Like, can you actually sit through the first 15 minutes of that movie?
It's Star Trek 5 in a nutshell. You want to walk away. You want to stop. But you're like, I'm a Star Trek fan. I've got to sit through this at least once. Learned my lesson with Star Trek Nemesis. I didn't like it 30 minutes in. I walked out and I said, okay. So the night that it hits DVD, I watched it all the way through and I said, glad I walked out and went to go see Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. I saw Nemesis in theaters. I actually didn't hate it that much, but it was definitely way better than this movie I saw last night. I'll put it that way.
Star Trek Nemesis is not terrible like 50 Shades of Black, but nor is it as bad as Highlander 2. But if you were to tell me to rank the Star Trek movies, it's above Section 31 in Star Trek 5, but that's about where it sets.
Yeah, just for the equivalent, it got a 37 on the tomato meter and 49 on the popcorn meter, so significantly better. So all right, with that, we're gonna let you go to bed, Sith. It's already 11:20 here, but I appreciate all the coverage all season long, and we'll definitely have you back on when football season is back in the fall.
Yeah, and note to Adam Scheffner, we don't need you saying that after week 2, look out for the Commanders. Don't, Adam, keep our team's name out of your fucking mouth.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one.
I want Danhausen to uncurse us, actually. That would be better.
Yes, that would be great. I love that he got a spot on the parade. We can end with that as a thing. The one of the main radio stations has asked for him to join them on their like float or whatever they're having, which I think is pretty awesome. That New York sports radio station is shilling Danhausen, and he's going to be like the leader of when they do the thing at Saturday Night Main Event. They're going to have a whole thing for him. He's also going to like lead a whole section of Fan Fest. I mean, this is the most meteoric rise I've ever seen from a character. One. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
This right here just shows you why Tony Khan can't call himself Promoter of the Year, because he had this on his roster. He had Danhausen on his roster and let it just get away. And WWE knew exactly what to do.
But I think he also just got super lucky to uncurse those two teams at the right time, and they went on these runs. And yeah, I mean, like so much had to go right for so many things. Like, but they played the gimmick exactly right, and now he's beloved in New York. I mean, they might make him a king of New York. So it's it's pretty
You got
amazing.
to remember, Abaddon was treated the same way by Tony Khan. Going to Tony Khan for a second. What he saw in Abaddon after Dark and Dark Elevation got cut off the air in favor of Collision, what he saw in Abaddon is what he saw in Danhausen, a Halloween attraction, nothing more.
Mhm.
He saw nothing but that. And my attitude is WWE is doing the right thing and squeezing out the Stanhausen character and just getting him so massively over. And as far as the Remarkable Promoter of the Year, that's from the readers of The Observer. So, and
I
then
just can't.
Meltzer.
He's not even wrestling. You know what I mean? It's like he's doing hardly any wrestling at all, and he's just so over. It's pretty amazing. Like it reminds me a little bit of what they do with R-Truth, but at another level almost.
imagine them as a tag team.
I know.
Champ
I would.
thought about that, and I'm like, oh God, that would be comedic genius right there.
Right. Yeah. Imagine it. Yeah, it's crazy. I did like that segment where he was trying to invite what's his face back into the Judgment Day, so to speak. And he was like, "No, we don't like this guy." And he was like, "No, you do. You should." So I thought that was a funny segment. That was like one of my favorite segments on SmackDown. All right, with that, we'll end it because we do got to talk a little Mystics and baseball before we get out of here. But Sith, appreciate it as always.
All right. We will see you guys either with the basement, no spots, or in September for NFL season.
Yes, definitely. Everyone go check out the basement, and also check out Champ with the No Spots podcast. They'll be continuing the wrestling coverage all summer long, and it's a lot of fun over there. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, we'll see you guys. Take it easy.
All right, with that, we're gonna switch over. Do you want to talk Mystics or Nats first?
We can talk Mystics first.
All right, there you go.
We can talk Mystics. So the Mystics, they split their two games this week. They were victorious in a very close one against the Toronto Tempo by a score of 86-85. Both Sonia Citron and Michaela Onowere, I don't know if I pronounced that right, both scored 17 points in this one. Shakira Austin had a double-double, 12 points and 11 rebounds in the victory. In the loss, Marina Maybury, 27 points, led all scorers, and Brittany Sykes had 20 in the loss for the Toronto Tempo. And then a couple days later, they would lose in blowout fashion in New York to the Liberty. Michaela had another 17-point outlook. This time, Sonia Citron only had 12 points in the loss, while Jonquel Jones for the Liberty had 20 points in the win. And Brianna Stewart had a double-double, 14 points and 12 rebounds in the victory for the Liberty. The next couple games for them, which we're not going to be talking about because this is the finale, but just want to put it out there. They have 3 games coming up this week. They're going to be heading up to Connecticut to face the Sun. Then they're going to be back in New York to face the Liberty yet again 2 days later on the 19th. And then on the 21st, they continue their road trip. They will head to Minnesota to face the Lynx. But an up and down week for the Mystics as they continue to be in the 11th in the entire WNBA. So they got to get things together. They're going to get into the top 8, but it's a long season. So hopefully they can figure it out. They have some scores. They definitely have some scores, but they just got to put it all together.
Amazing. All right, Nats. We're gonna go to them next.
Oh, the Nats continue to have series where they win them, but they don't sweep them. They went out to San Francisco and took 2 or 3 from the Giants. They won the first 2 games by a score of 4-3 and then 6-3. But just like they tend to do this season, they lose the final game, and they lost this one in a very close, high-scoring affair, 11-10. So again, they win series, but they don't sweep them. And the same thing would happen when they came back home to face the Mariners. Mariners this past weekend. They lost the first game by a score of 10-2, but then won the final two games by a score of 8-3 on Saturday, the same day that we were at Audi Field for the United Bowl, and then they blew them out 10-1 on Sunday. They are currently in a series with the Kansas City Royals. They did win tonight by a score of 7-3. I think I saw it. So they already got a victory. Let's see if they can actually get a sweep of a series. They got two more games coming up Tuesday and Wednesday. And then afterwards, they got a series with the Tampa Bay Rays down in Tampa Bay this coming weekend. And then they got the rest of the season, the All-Star break. They still got to fix their pitching. I sound like a freaking broken record, but it's the truth. They got to fix their pitching. Otherwise, they're not going to survive in this. They're not. But another decent week for the Nationals. Again, they tend to win series, but they don't tend to sweep series.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I'm buying these tickets right now for my kids because I just realized it's the sing along version. Like the kids always want to sing and talk during movies and they're never allowed to. Like this version of K-pop Demon Hunters, which is like their favorite movie ever, and Zach like performed karate to it. Like this is the one where they're gonna have like the words on screen and they're like promoting you to sing along to it. So like the kids are gonna have a freaking blast at that.
Oh, they're gonna love that.
Yeah,
they're definitely gonna love that.
And I just got all the tickets, including like the fees, which is where they get you, right? I got 4 tickets, me, the nanny, the 2 kids, $7.15.
That's dope.
That's insane. Like how do you not do that? Like one ticket is usually like $15 now, right? So like that's crazy. So anyway, I'm excited about that tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna surprise them in the morning. I'm not even gonna tell them what it is. Just gonna be like, we're going to the movies. Got a surprise for you. I figure that's a nice way to start our summer, right? So
yeah.
Anyway, Champ, it's been such a fun season. I wish that we could have had the Defenders win the last one. It was so fun to go with you, meet your family. We'll definitely have to find time to like barbecue or do something all together. I actually have a surprise for you. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna show you something. I gotta get it from the other room. But let people know what what's on the no spots this week.
What the hell is this guy doing? Anyway, so we took a week off from those spots because after being in the heat for so long on Saturday and then still getting up, I had to get up early to drive to my best friend's house out in Maryland so he can fix my brakes, and ended up needing a part replaced, which he took care of. So, I'm indebted to him for that. But went out, did Grubhub, and was what the hell? I did Grubhub, and by the time I was getting home, I wasn't gonna be ready for the podcast, and I was feeling like crap. So I said, let's take the week off. We'll come back strong on Saturday, talk about whatever. And so that's what we got coming up Saturdays. We're gonna talk about all the news that happened this week. We're gonna talk about what happened on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all of that stuff. And we're going to have our countdown of our top 10 favorite 5-star matches that were rated by that fuckhead Meltzer. But should be a fun time this coming Saturday. We're going to be streaming live on Kick, Twitch, and Facebook. And retry the season finale of Best of Super Juniors Rewind. We ended up having Zoom freeze on us as we were really rolling last Tuesday. So we're going to try it again. But this time, not only we're going to talk about everything that closed out Best of Super Juniors, we're also going to talk about Dominion that just happened yesterday, in which several new champions were crowned. They announced the G1 Climax lineup. The automatic ends to the tournament. We'll talk about all of that this coming Tuesday. So Tuesday and Saturday, you can catch us on Kick, Twitch, and Facebook for the No Spots podcast.
There you go. I had to be in costume for the last segment. Look at this. I have to show this to you. It's actually...
It's a Commander's luchador mask. That is freaking lit.
And so what you don't realize is this is actually a gift for you. And so if you can come out to Maryland at some point and do a barbecue with me this summer, I will give you this. I got it for you in Mexico. That is fucking dope. I didn't want to bring it to the game because I didn't want to get it all fucked up and like stuff like that. Yeah. I thought this would be a good encouragement for you to come out, and we'll do some barbecue something, and I'll give you this to be able to have on your show and stuff like that.
That would be awesome.
I saw it there. I thought of you, and I was gonna bring it out for different parts throughout the season, but I figured this was the moment at the end to bring it out, and so definitely go check out the No Spots podcast, and who knows? I'll definitely maybe do pop up shows throughout the summer. Maybe do a game stream with Zach playing the new Yoshi game. Maybe if something big happens with Ovechkin, an announcement of that, we might do like a pop up little individual cap stream. No official like season episode number kind of thing. That won't be until September, but keep the notification bell on. There might be some things that pop up throughout the summer. Maybe even just do a live stream from my phone at some point on one of my travels. Who knows? So stay tuned. Always go to facebook.com/sportsothp for all the latest DC sports. We keep that updated all year long, even if we're not doing the podcast. And stay tuned on there. Also, right before the season begins, we'll make all of our predictions for the season as well, for the Commanders. And I hope that everyone has a great summer. Safe out there, especially with the crazy 250 4th of July shenanigans. I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm flying to Texas, so it'll be as far away from here as possible. But for those that are staying in the area, be safe, obviously. And it should be an interesting summer upcoming. A lot of stuff. One quick thing I didn't mention earlier, but it can't go without saying it. USA won their World Cup first match, highest scoring game ever for the USA. They've never scored 4 goals in a game. They won 4-1. So congratulations to them. One of the players almost got a hat trick. Very exciting game. I wish I had more time, but we're already way over time tonight. But congratulations to them. Wishing them the best of luck through the World Cup. I'm sorry that we're not doing a World Cup series, but we've covered a lot of sports this year, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to see you guys in 12 weeks. But definitely, if you want more wrestling coverage, check out Champ. You can also check out Sith in the basement, and Janaea and I and Gil will do something when Ovechkin makes his decision. So stay tuned for that as well. And with that, Ken, you have any final thoughts before I let you go?
Nope. Just hopefully the Nats can get it together by the time we get back, and hopefully the misses will be talking about a championship for them when we get back. Hopefully, but
go DC United as well. Hopefully they will come back strong as well.
Absolutely. Go Quigueños, sayonara, and good night.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you guys soon. Turn the bell notification and like and subscribe. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for a wonderful spring season of episode 11. New website coming